How's it going, everybody? It's Jay Nanda, San Antonio Metal Music Examiner here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon with two of the guys from the Killer Dwarfs. Of course, you know vocalist Russ Dwarf.
How you doing, Jay?
And Johnny, how you guys
doing?
Good, buddy. It's a fantastic time. Thanks for taking the time to do this. It's great to have you guys here. They're playing two shows here in San Antonio, and we're having the pleasure of being here in between. They played last night at Fitzgerald's Bar. Great turnout, great rockin' show. We're playing again tonight. So, Russ, let me start with you. Is it safe to say, for the United States, this is the place where it all began for the Killer Dwarfs?
This is the place it all began. We came here in 1986. Joe Anthony and Jack Halford brought us down, and this was the first U.S. date we ever did in San Antonio, and we fell in love with the place and you guys. And, you know, it's our favorite place to play on the whole planet.
Yeah.
Everyone's so enthusiastic and passionate about the music. Yeah, you guys are all great. The food's great. The weather's perfect. Love it.
Now, you know, you said that last night to the crowd that this was your favorite place, and I was going to put you on the spot today because I was like, obviously your hometown's got to be your favorite or something like that, and I would imagine it is. Or
Not
something,
necessarily. No, I'd say this is my favorite place to play. Yeah, I'm being dead honest.
That's fantastic.
Love this town, man.
Well, expand a little more on that, because for guys like me, I've only lived in San Antonio for nearly 10 years, so I didn't have the pleasure of being here when Joe Anthony gave you your start. He gave a lot of bands their start.
Yeah.
Queensryche played their third ever show in San Antonio. Scorpions, Judas Priest got early starts here in the States. Rush, a bunch of them. And for those of you who are watching this outside of San Antonio or around the world, Joe Anthony was a late DJ here in San Antonio.
Godfather of rock.
The Godfather of rock. He gave many metal bands their start here in San Antonio, and that's why San Antonio, it's not an egotistical thing. San Antonio has been known as the heavy metal capital of the U.S. By many bands, including Killer Dwarfs.
Yeah.
So can you just kind of expand on that as far as, like, when was the first time you got wind of the fact that you guys were being played on the radio in 82 or whatever it was?
Yeah,
and
just 83, our first album came out, and we did that album, and we started a second album with this company, and then they dropped us. So we started to make Stand Tall, our second album. And we were kind of like in between. We didn't have a deal at that time, but we, put all our own money into making that record. And Joe actually, I don't know how he did it, but he found my phone number and he called and said, and I didn't know Joe from Adam at that point, and he said, you have a #1 album down here. And I was like, what? Who is this? Right? So from there, we worked with Jack Halford from Stone City, who's another great friend of ours down here, and they brought us down to, to play here, and that just blew everything up. From there, we got a major record deal on Sony, CBS at the time, Epic Records, and it just took off from those guys just, digging the band and the fans down here, just loving that first album. You know what I mean? So I can't thank them enough.
So you're hearing this on a phone call from Toronto.
Yes.
You're in Toronto, and you're getting a win. I mean,
we never knew anything because you don't have the internet and everything in those days, and you don't know what's going on the radio. And of course, the record company that dropped us is not going to inform us that we're having a popular record, down here.
So I mean, back then, I mean, outside of Toronto, were you getting played much anywhere, regardless, like on the radio?
Not really. What was big for us when at that time was the music videos started coming into play around 82, 83. So we got a lot of airplay from Heavy Mental Breakdown. That was our first video, and that was played on Much Music and stuff. And we did the Stand Tall album independently, and that album sold like 100,000 units, which was, pretty unheard of at that time in 1986 on your own. And MTV in the States picked up. We did all our own videos too and everything. I don't know if you've ever seen these videos, but they picked up those videos, and those were independent videos, and they blew up on MTV as on Headbangers Ball and all that stuff. So that started the ball rolling, right? So from then, we had worked in Canada for like, the band started in 81. From 81 to 86, we played in Canada. And then, Joe brought us down here, and then that set it off for us to come here. And, 28 years later, here we are.
Yeah, and I was going to say, fast forward 28 years prior to this weekend. When was the last time you played here?
We were here in 2003 at the Sunken Gardens with Queensryche and Y&T. Jack brought us down.
right before I moved here. All right.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, do you have any special memories or stories, favorite things to do?
Well, probably a great, that's a hard question, but the first gig we ever played was the Majestic Theater. I don't know if you know that. You've been in the Majestic?
Oh, yeah.
That place is
fabulous,
awesome.
fabulous.
Yeah,
place.
amazing. So that was our first
Yes.
experience here. So it blew our minds, and we had, it was a magical night. I can think of like 2 or 3 nights in my whole life that are super special to me, and that was definitely one of them, to see the love that they were giving us, because we had no idea that they even knew these songs, and they knew every song. Amazing.
Johnny, how was it for you last night? Being on stage with the raucous crowd, and I'm sure you're going to get more of it tonight. Is this your first time here in San Antonio?
Yeah, it's my first time, yeah.
Your impressions?
Yeah, amazing place. And I'm the new guy in the band, so for me it's really good, and we all get along great. The band sounds good. The crowd was amazing last night, and I don't know what else to say, man. I just had a great time. It was awesome. Hopefully it'll be
It was
good
so
again
nice.
tonight.
We're gonna do it twice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, tell me what it was like for you when you first joined the band. How did things get rolling with you? How familiar were you with the Dwarfs and Russ? Did you guys have a connection before that?
I've known Daryl and Russ, for years, and I've been hanging out with Daryl for quite a bit. We're in another band called Auto Man, and I've been in different bands with Daryl throughout the years, like the last 20 years or whatever. So I've known him for quite a long time. And I've known Russ for at least 15 years. The first time I met Russ was quite a while ago, and when Ron wasn't part of the scene anymore, these guys considered me, and I was stoked that they even considered me, and it was an honor to do it, and I'm happy to be here, and I couldn't think of a better band to be in for me, being a Canadian.
Yeah.
I was 15 years old watching these guys on TV before MTV was even around, and me and my buddies were going, oh, look at those guys, how cool is that, and who knew that 25, 30 years later I'd be in the band.
Yeah.
So
Well,
for me, it's pretty cool.
It was a totally rocking show last night, and I got a kick out of your interaction with the crowd last night, and even at one point when you said the first time you came here was when you were 25, and now you're 125. So obviously Russ is selling himself short, and no pun intended with that. But you're what, like 53? The man is still body surfing into the crowd, and I know that firsthand because I was one of the people who helped hold you up last night.
I almost got a haircut from that fan last night.
And you were doing headstands during Keep the Spirit Alive. The man is still doing headstands. I mean, where do you get the energy from?
From the audience, they make that happen. If they weren't there, I'd just be standing there drinking a beer. It's something about the chemistry between, the interaction between the music and the people. It brings out the youth in me.
Well, you mentioned the videos and wondered if I had seen them. Of course, I've got loads of VHS tapes collecting dust of Headbangers Ball videos.
Awesome.
And obviously one of the classic episodes, besides just the videos you guys made and their creativity, especially We Stand Alone, is one of my favorites.
Awesome.
But, of course, you were a guest with Rob Halford.
Yes, we
And
were.
where they did the whole special effects thing and shrunk you down, and they shrunk Rob down on your shoulder.
Yeah, he was great.
What was that like? How much went into that? Did you know Rob much before that?
I didn't know Rob, but he's such a great guy, and easygoing, and it's we have a great sense of humor. Like, we obviously take what we do seriously to a degree. Like, let's get real. It's rock and roll. It's not the cure to cancer or anything here, right? But he was totally cool with us, and I'm totally a huge fan. Rob's like the best heavy metal singer on the planet, right? But he was totally cordial with us, and I guess MTV made that up. We have the videos of him, and he went right along with it. And I just recently saw that. Someone sent that to me. I had never seen it.
Oh, you'd never seen it?
No, because we were on the road and stuff, and I just never saw a copy of it.
Oh, my.
And someone sent me a copy of it. I just saw it recently for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, cool.
Damn, if I had known that, I would have invited you to my house. You could have
There
watched
you
it on my
go, man.
house.
There you go.
Well, being mindful of the fact that you guys are playing 2 shows, I do have a question for one of my social media readers who was at the gig last night.
Yeah.
And Renee from San Antonio, citing the fact that you mentioned Joe Anthony, giving you guys a start and everything. At the same time, he wondered, how come you didn't play anything from the first album?
Yeah, there's so many tunes. We do play some stuff from the first album, and I know I'm gonna get in trouble for that. It's just there's so many songs, like
What do you pick up? What do you cut out? What do you
you know what I mean. And we don't stick to a set like we have this, you know, we say this is what we're gonna play, or this is what we've rehearsed for the tour or whatever. But sometimes we'll just, you know, pull stuff and put stuff in, and it just didn't happen last night. It might happen tonight.
Sure.
You know, probably play heavy metal right now.
Awesome, awesome. Well,
In trouble again.
Yes, absolutely. And before I let you guys go, I know you guys recently did the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I know that had to be a blast. I've seen a couple of video clips and so forth. Johnny, what was your? Did you guys experience the whole seasickness thing while you're playing, or
no?
not?
I fish a lot. It's on my boats all the time.
Cool.
Didn't
And it's
bother
so
me
big,
at all.
you can't really feel anything.
Yeah.
It's a huge show.
Yeah.
But the greatest time ever.
Yeah, and you know the fans are pretty respectful, and they just you know.
It's nothing like it.
Thing. Everybody's there for the same reason, and everyone's got a great attitude. There's no grief.
Yeah.
It's fun. You get to hang out with everybody, and it's a great time. They should make it longer though. It's too short.
Yeah, it's a bit short.
Well, maybe you can do an annual thing, and hopefully you guys can come back more often here in San Antonio,
Oh,
where it
we're
all
coming
began.
back, man. We'll be back.
Absolutely.
We got some special things planned for San Antonio. You'll be hearing about.
And musically, what's got going on for the Killer Dwarfs
Musically, we
fans?
have some stuff that's coming out in the next month or so. But we're planning on doing. We're probably going to do another DVD, a live show, and so we're probably going to do it here. That's what we're thinking. So
Awesome.
we'll probably do 2 or 3 nights in a row. We have some special plans for that. So, I mean, you might get to hear the whole first album.
There you go. Wow, fantastic stuff
Yeah.
in store for
There
Killer
you go.
Dwarfs. Outstanding. I got to say, I did watch one of the interview clips you did from the cruise,
Yes.
and I know you mentioned Charm City Devils as being one of your
Yes.
favorite bands.
Awesome.
They're going to be here Thursday, opening for
Are
the
they?
Winery Dogs.
Well, tell them,
so if you
tell
want to
them-
extend your San Antonio
Tell
stay,
them
feel
we
free.
say hi to those guys. That's a great band, man.
Yeah,
really,
excellent band.
really enjoyed
Yeah.
that band a lot. Definitely, nice guys too.
Good deal. Well, Russ, thank you so much
Jake,
for taking
no
the
problem,
time.
buddy.
Absolute
Anytime.
pleasure. Welcome back to town where it all began for the
Thank you,
Killer
man.
Dwarfs.
Appreciate
Johnny,
that.
thank you very
Thanks
much.
a lot.
Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy the show tonight. And if you're coming to your town, check them out. Killer Dwarfs.
All right.
Touring the States, touring the world. So for Russ, Johnny, this is Jay Nod, San Antonio Metal Music Examiner, saying don't hang them out to dry. Hold them up high.
All right.